Alright, last episode of Vulgar Desperado. You know what it is. Cue the music. Welcome back to the channel. Please like and subscribe. Really would appreciate that. Uh, I don't know if I'm going to make this long. I'm not going to really go over what happened in the episode. Long story short, Obi fought Vader again. He wins. Reva, good guy. Luke, safe. The end. You know, Leia safe, the end. Not much really in. I'm just going to complain about things that I found that were stupid. One thing I've said over and over with this show is it has a real lack of pacing for one, but editing, flow. The show in a lot of ways is it's trying to do too much, and you end up seeing like really dumb scenes or really poor choices in storytelling, dialogue, and just kind of build up, if you will. One example, which I'll throw up on the screen, is literally Owen is about to have like a talk to the guy that Reva threatens because they're going after Luke now, or she's going after Luke, and after it's a weird editing shot. It's a weird choice because apparently Obi tells Leia that he's gonna get off, and it's has a little mild heart to heart, and it was just kind of a weird scene to me to like have off screen. It felt kind of amateurish, if you ask me. Like it's like there are certain things that you do need to show to make your audience feel a way, and that's kind of I think one of the biggest problems with this show. I mean, just like in the last episode, Italia's death. Like who really gave a fuck? Nobody, because you're not building up right. You're making like odd choices and wasting time in certain places. And look, one can say that's the fact of it being a limited series, but again, this is Disney. You should have put more money into it, considering what this is, who this is. You would expect them to utilize their time a lot better. And honestly, and I don't know what it was like, because there's another scene just like that a couple minutes later on the ship. Goes away, comes back with, and I'm always forgetting the dude's name. I think his real name's like Kujami or something. I don't remember his name still. And he's having a heart-to-heart with Leia too, apparently, and literally tells Obi-Wan, like, I talked to her. And it's like, did you? We didn't fucking see that. It's like, these are the moments that would make you like this character or bond with both these characters, really. It's just like, you chose to cut them out, and it's like, well, why have them here then? They feel useless in the end of the day, because all these characters feel useless. A lot of this feels like a grand ensemble piece than it does like a show focused on Obi-Wan, because you cut away to different people at different times and you add in people for just convenient storytelling, and that's not how you write a series, even if it is like a middle prequel ass series that for 6 episodes, I don't know, should still have a beginning, middle, and end with some, I don't know, like logic behind everything instead of just convenience. Hey, yo, did anyone else find Badass Baru like a fucking funny ass scene too? Like, just get my gun, we gotta protect our boy. Like, that shit kind of cracked me up, yo. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, what? Damn, Baru, you was making the milk and cookies. What you doing out here? Come on now. That shit cracked me up. But then you gotta have them two fighting fucking Reva, and they out shooting her at the lasers and shit, and fucking Owen kicking this motherfucking pots at her and shit, bruh. That shit cracked me up because one, why? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, they should have been dead. She got the force. It was kind of stupid, bro. Like, I don't know, man. That shit cracked me up. He kicked that shit out of her. I was like, bro, he out here trying to get her Home Alone style. They should have set some traps. They could have learned a little lesson from Macaulay, bro. I'm just saying. That shit was wild. Another example, again, like the pacing problem is that, you see Obi have this little heart-to-heart with Leia, and he gives her Talia's little gun holster, and it just feels so unearned. It's just like, when did they bond? Why do I give a fuck? She never wore that shit before. What does it matter? Disney clearly wants you to believe that Leia looked up to her and had this special bond with this woman that she knew all of 4 hours. I don't really understand it. I don't see the purpose and point behind it. But let's be real. We know what the purpose and point behind it is. Yo, and maybe I missed this. Somebody let me know in the comments. But did they explain how the Grand Inquisitor came back to life? No, just gonna accept the fact that we all knew he was alive and just kind of roll out that, like, oh, I knew he wasn't dead. Yeah, like that's it. No explanation. Okay, like, I mean, I understand it's a lazy writing. I get it. I shouldn't be having such high expectations, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did say like, yeah, we all can take fucking lightsabers to the gut. You did it twice as a youngling and a little girl. Of course, I'm the fucking Grand Inquisitor. Of course, I can take a fucking lightsaber to the gut. What? Who can't here? Look at Vader. Now let's talk about the fight. That's what I know a lot of fucking normies are gonna be nutting over. And look, I won't say it was terrible, but it wasn't super impressive. And this mainly comes from the again the camera angles and the camera techniques that you see in this. You get a lot of shaky camera, and you get a lot of over the top angles and weird other angles, and that's just to compensate for a lack of choreography. That's my complaint with it. Look, Hugh McGregor, Hayden Christian, both is old. They're not in fine fighting shape anymore. I don't need that. It's called fucking stunt doubles. All right. Do y'all remember that shit? Do you remember like we used to do that shit? Like, I understand you might want to save some money here and there, but like, come on, guys. Like, I want to see actual legit fights. It doesn't, like, shaky cam doesn't really work in the Star Wars universe. Maybe when they're in the cockpit in the 70s, right? You know what I mean? But like, for the most part, like, I personally prefer like more of a still camera focus shot where you can actually like see the movement, see the action. And it's not like it was hard to see, but when you do focus on it, you're like, okay, this is kind of like subpar at best. And I think they, compensate with their camera angles, camera techniques, and even some of the lighting. It's all kind of like dark and whatnot, and it's, it doesn't really serve a greater purpose besides just to hide some of the secret shame of, hey, this is never going to be as good as what episode 3 was. And again, it doesn't need to be, but it doesn't need to be so, I don't know, like, it just kind of like subpar to me. That being said, I will give credit where credit's due, and I think this is the only thing that, Disney did well, and maybe this is where their entire budget went. I don't fucking know, but they did use the Force quite coolly, like Obi-Wan pelting that motherfucker with the rocks, and, Anakin or Darth, like, catching the fucking lightsaber was pretty cool. Like, I did kind of enjoy that element because, with these bigger studios and with these bigger budgets, and after playing The Force Unleashed and all other kinds of games, we all know The Force can do some pretty sick shit if you get creative. So I will give credit and say that's cool that you guys try to, show a little bit more sicker, badass side of the Force. Whereas, you're truly only getting that in the video game. So I'll give it that. Now, this is another scene that I think a lot of normies will actually really appreciate. And again, like, the emotional depth I can understand and appreciate to an extent. But this also, I think, plays into the whole fact that these motherfuckers should have never met again. You're having Obi and Anakin in a secluded fucking area, and I will push that it's hard to believe that Obi-Wan would not try his damnedest right then and there to get him back to the light side. Like, yes, we know there's other movies and how this all ends, but that's the point. He was been lost, he was been gone to him, but having them meet again, and then, Obi did say, I'm sorry, I tried. I get it. Like, it doesn't work too much when you really think about, like, how they last met and why that should have kind of been the capstone in the end. I mean, weirdest thing about this fight is, like, Anakin was talking to him like he ain't never fucking lost to this man, and it's just like, bro, not only in this own show do we see the flashbacks of this nigga beating you, but you're in this metal suit because he beat you. So I don't know what some of the choices of dialogue or writing is. Like, it's just very, very odd. Like, I've seen articles Hayden Christensen being like, his need for revenge, settle the score, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, write better? Fuck. Like, choose better lines of dialogue. It doesn't make a lot of fucking sense when we just seen this nigga piece you up in the most glorious, high groundiest way ever. Now, on to some other things that don't make sense. Reva. I don't know what the fucking purpose was for this character, because her motivations are just all over the place. She wants revenge, and she's like, I'll stop at nothing to get revenge except be evil, or, because it's like she's done all this bad shit, and now I'm assuming she kind of knows that Luke is his son to an extent. I don't really fucking know. I mean, she saw the message from Bail Organa, and I guess she could have maybe figured it out. I guess, like, that kid, that whatever. But regardless, she was going down there to get her revenge, and then until she starts seeing her fucking self in Luke, and it's like, what was the fucking, like, no, I mean, like, yeah, you can say Obi-Wan talked to her in the last episode, but what, that little conversation opened up the door to her good heart, and she realized she doesn't want to kill kids like she was killed and her friends were killed? No, that's dumb. If she was all evil and gritty after that fucking moment, like, there's no looking back. But here we are looking back, and then it's like, well, why didn't you look back all these years before? Like, you've been a villain this whole time, and then it took just Obi-Wan kind of talking to you. Did he mind trick you? Like, I'll accept that. If you mind tricked you, be for real. Come on. Did she get mind tricked? I think she got mind tricked, y'all. Now, this wouldn't be Star Wars if it wasn't having some Leia bootlicking in it. And look, I don't dislike Leia, but Disney really makes it, like, odd to like Leia. I don't know if it's just like some try-hard shit, to be perfectly honest. Like, Obi gives this deep and passionate fucking speech to her about how she's this and that, and I mean, like, it's, nice and dandy, but again, it just feels so unfucking earned, I mean, seems like she's fucking closer to the goddamn dead chick Tala, and yes, the robot, more than Obi, and it's just like, I don't really get it. I don't even buy their relationship. Like, I just don't feel it. It was very unearned. That's the problem with it. Other people are gonna be like, oh, they're like surrogate father and daughter. No, you fucking retards, man. That was just chintzy bullshit writing. Like, what real moments did they have where you were like, oh, like, I like seeing them as a pair. Like, he was either looking like an idiot and she was just looking kind of like a dumbass. Or not a dumbass, just kind of a bitch. Sorry, kid. But, like, she wasn't just nice. I didn't really like Leia in this series. And I don't know if that was the intent. But, I think it kind of was. I mean, fuck, even earlier in the episode, she's helping the kids or playing with the kids and talking like a fucking 30-year-old again, like, oh, Loyola helps them, helps them feel less scared, some shit. And I was just like, she's 10, man. Like, can she even say that in a 10-year-old manner? Like, I wanted to help them. I wanted to, take their mind off of it. Something. Like, just stop talking like you got the regal stick up the ass at 10. Just odd. And Obi gets to meet Luke at the end, I guess, which, I don't know. I mean, kind of feels pointless now. And I mean, like, unless you get a season 2. But look, you've already done the adventures with young Leia. Like, I don't know if I even really want adventures with fucking young Luke. Like, this was supposed to be that. We all would have accepted, like, a one-time kind of deal. And, like, if you want to milk it, and I guess if your numbers are right, yeah, you can kind of say, oh, this was that one time Luke met Ben Kenobi, and here's their adventure, But I mean, after kind of watching with the train wreck of what this was, and I mean, I don't know. Like, does it matter? Does it fucking matter anymore? Like, do we really care at this point? Like, does anyone really want to slug it through again? And look, maybe if you have Obi on some shit, because at the end of this episode, he meets Qui-Gon, something that I think he should have been doing, talking to, like, having connections with throughout this entire fucking thing. Like, literally in the episode, he's like, I'm gonna have to kill him, Master. It's either him or me, whoop-de-whoop. And I'm like, should have been kind of like talking to him and in deep meditation throughout this entire fucking series. Like, he should have really been on his Grandmaster shit instead of this, I'm kind of weak, I'm kind of strong, I'm back, baby, like, whatever bullshit this was. Like, it wasn't really, in my opinion, like, the best choice. It's just kind of odd. Like, I don't know, man. This whole series was just kind of pointless, because again, at the end, like, Leia does call this nigga Obi-Wan. If she's 10 now, and whether she's, 16 or 19 in A New Hope, she didn't know this man. If the copyright gods don't fuck this up, I'm going to play a skit from Robot Chicken where Carrie Fisher actually voiced Leia, and she tells fucking Luke, oh, what's wrong? He's like, just so sad about Ben. And she's like, oh, did the 80-year-old man you just met die? I was too busy thinking about my home planet Alderaan and my parents and family and everyone I knew. So, let's just say, canonically speaking, we all knew that she did not know fucking Obi-Wan. This was a terrible choice on them. I'm gonna play this shit. Let's see.
Luke, what's wrong?
I just can't believe Ben's gone.
Oh, did the 80-year-old man you just met yesterday die? I mean, sorry if I didn't notice. I was a little busy thinking about my entire family and the other 2 billion people from Alderaan who were just vaporized into dust about 3 hours ago.
Alright, hopefully the copyright guys let me leave that little skit in there. I'm going to try to do some tricks if I can. But regardless, you can even easily look it up. Luke, Leia, Robot Chicken. It's like the third option there. I might leave the link to that skit from where I found it on YouTube in the comment section. But regardless, like, it goes to show you that Luke and Obi were the ones that had that bond, that were the ones that, you would have actually preferred to see it. Not in season 2, not later. And you can make the argument, well, this builds up to that. But the whole fact of the matter is Leia didn't know this man. That wasn't her deal. That wasn't her shtick. I get you guys want to make her force sensitive. I get you want to make her this badass with the gun and the pistol. But Leia didn't need all this stuff for us to think that. Like, we all kind of accepted and knew Leia was tight and a badass. I don't know what motherfuckers was putting Leia down like that, but we know this is Disney. They'll come up out of the woodwork and say these people were sexist and racist for whatever reason, why, and we all know it's not true. But here they are trying to push Leia on us, and it's like, bro, Leia was already here. Nobody had a problem. She strangled Jabba the fucking Hutt in a bikini. Doesn't get much more badass than that, bro. I don't know what else to tell you. Anyways, this has been kind of fun. Thanks for some of the love y'all been showing. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, or just do one of them. Either one is fine. We'll appreciate it. Jabberjaw's out. Vulgar Desperado. Peace.